In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use automated lead magnets to actually welcome new leads to your Skool community on autopilot. The plan for this video is super simple. We are going to be going over 2 live automation builds, showing you exactly how you can firstly send a personalized welcome message to new group members based on answers to those 3 questions they actually answer when they first join your community. Then secondly, an automation to give them some sort of action plan or automated lead magnet based on the specific pain points that we're going to collect in a form. My name is Leo. I'm the CEO and founder of Fluxomate, an operation agency that helps agents owners all over the world set up skill-proof systems. This is actually my second video going over different ways you can actually automate your Skool community. And after setting up automated systems for a couple of Skool community owners, I decided it was time to pick up the camera again and record a second video going over exactly how you can use this powerful tool to create automated lead magnets for new Skool members to provide even more upfront value to your Skool group. If you're new here, you'll soon find out we don't hold anything back. So be ready to get a full solution to a massive problem in your life from a random guy on YouTube. Let's get straight into it, guys. Now, if you don't know what Skool is, it's basically a community platform. Think of Facebook groups or any Kajabi course, but better. Alex and Rose recently invested in it, and since the start of 2024, it's been going crazy. I know a lot of people are actually transitioning their funnels to Skool, starting with the free group and then moving on to their higher ticket offer. They actually have a 14-day free trial, so if you want access to that, you can check out the first link in the description. Like I said, guys, this is actually my second video going over how to actually automate Skool. After the success of the first one, which is actually the highest viewed video on my channel, I decided it was time to record a new one because in that video, I went over 3 different automations that anyone can set up. And at the end, I did mention this lead magnet automation, which was a bit more complicated. I got a lot of requests on Instagram actually asking me to show you what this lead magnet automation is. So that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. If you don't know what a lead magnet is, I'd highly recommend reading this book, which as you can see is in that background right there. It's a 100% free book. I really recommend you check it out because it's extremely valuable. But just to summarize it, a lead magnet is just a way you can basically turn your leads into engaged leads and make them excited about what you have to offer. There's a lot of different forms and shapes it takes. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually automate your lead magnet. Like I said, we're going to be going over 2 different automations for this example. The first automation is just an automation that we're going to send off to send a welcome message or email when someone actually joins your group. And we're going to make it personalized based on the response to those 3 questions. The second automation is a bit more higher level. We basically want to follow them to a form where we'll collect all the information and specific pain points that they're currently offering, and then leverage that using AI to create a fully custom action plan, lead magnet, document, whatever it is. We're going to be building all of this stuff on Zapier. At the moment, make.com doesn't have any Skool integrations. Before I get started with the build, I will say if you want to follow along as I'm doing all of this live, you can check out the second link in the description to get access to a free digital product that has all the relevant files and automation blueprints I'll be going over in this video. We started doing that for all of our videos. It's completely free as everything else we do on this channel, and just a way for me to give you even more value through the YouTube. The plan for the first automation is very simple. As soon as someone joins the community, they're going to answer those 3 initial questions. We're then going to send them a customized email or SMS, depending on what you're doing, and initiate them in an email sequence to actually try to get them to complete the form. Let's head over to Zapier and actually start building this out. So as you can see, guys, I've just gone ahead and created this free YouTube group. The only thing we want to do now is set up those 3 questions that they have to answer when they first sign up. So for this, we're going to go over the settings. Within settings, if I scroll all the way down to plugins, and we have this membership questions, I'm going to edit this and turn this on. And we're going to go ahead and add a question. Now, you can only do 3 questions. Obviously, the first one is either the email or the phone number. For this example, we're going to be sending an email rather than an SMS. So the first question, we're going to put, what is your email? It's going to be an email address. I'm going to add that. The second question, we want to find something that actually brings out one of their pain points. So maybe we can ask, why are you joining this community? That's going to be a text box as well. And then the last question, once again, it can be another question similar, trying to find out the specific pain points that they're having. But it can also be a qualifying question at the same time. So for example, something like, what's your monthly revenue? For this example, I'm just going to ask, what is your business? I don't have a text box. Obviously, guys, you're going to have to change these questions depending on what you're specifically doing within your Skool group and how you're actually helping people. But we're going to leave it as this for now. Now I'm just going to go ahead and head over to Zapier so we can actually start automating this. All right, guys, so we've gone ahead and loaded up Zapier, and the first thing we need to do is actually set up the trigger. Now, the trigger is the first step of any automation, and as this example is going to be someone actually joining the group and answering those questions. So I'm just going to press the trigger event. I'm going to search for Skool. Once you've got that, I'm going to go over here and then create a new connection to my Skool group. Once I'm in here, I'm going to go for answered membership questions. I'm going to press continue. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect my Skool group. Now, if you haven't already watched how to do this, it's very, very simple. All you have to do is get that API key, get over the settings. If you go over here to plugins and want Zapier integration, edit this, I'm just going to copy the API key and turn this on. Then we're going to go back to Zapier and we're going to change this connection and just add a new one. Here, all we're going to do is copy and paste the API key and the name of our group. So just like that, guys, we're going to paste the API key, and then we want to find the name of our group, which is YouTube Test 6747. Just like that one. Yes, continue to Skool. And just like that, guys, you can see we've automatically just connected our new Skool group to Zapier. I press continue. All right, guys, so I've gone ahead and actually requested to join my own group. So if we test the trigger now, we should have some membership questions coming in. Test it again. Perfect. So as you can see, this is me filling it out. Those are the questions I answered. So we're going to continue with this record. If you go back to our plan, all we want to do now is actually create a customized email that we're going to send them, just welcome them to the group. Like I said, this could be an email or SMS. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to go back into Zapier and we're going to add that action. Now for this, we actually need to use AI to actually generate that message. We're going to search for ChatGPT. And then for action, we're going to scroll all the way down to conversation. Now, if you're doing this properly, I would recommend doing conversation with assistant. I have a video going over how to create assistants. So if you want to check that out, you can check out the video in the top right hand corner. The responses you get on a consistent basis are much, much better. But just for this example, I'm just going to go ahead with conversation. I'm going to press continue. Obviously, connect your account. And we're going to go ahead and type a very, very simple prompt. All you want to do there is send a customized welcome message that's not too long. So I'm just going to go ahead and type a very simple prompt for you guys. Alright guys, so I went ahead and created a very, very simple prompt and I entered all the specific fields. So the first name, the answers to the questions. To do that, all I did was go over here and for insert data, I selected answer membership questions and went ahead and picked the relevant information. Now, if you can see here, I actually requested the output to be in HTML. When you're sending emails through automations, I always recommend doing it for HTML because the format can be very dodgy if you don't, especially from a ChatGPT response. So please go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and test this and see what kind of response we get. And we might have to edit the prompt depending on what we get. Go ahead and check it out. Welcome to our Skool community. Thanks for the community. We're excited to help you work through your business. Your business involves across the United States, and our community is here to support you in this venture. Feel free to engage with our resources and community. This isn't horrible, guys. This is not horrible. We're going to leave this for now. Obviously, there are different things I could touch up, but this isn't a prompting masterclass, so I'm just going to leave it as that. The next step is actually sending an email. So for this, I'm just going to add another action, and I'm going to use Gmail for this. For event, I'm going to scroll down and go to send email, press continue, and obviously connect your account. Now, there's a couple of things here we actually need to enter. Firstly is for that, we're just going to get that email, which are one of the questions we actually responded. Once again, guys, if you're doing this through SMS, instead of putting the email, you put the number. I'm going to scroll all the way down to from, obviously select your account, which in this case is Leo at Fluxomate. And from name, I'm going to put Leo Fluxomate. Cool. The subject's going to be welcome, and then we're going to put their first name, which in this example is testing. And then for body type, we're going to change this to HTML because remember the previous step, we asked for that response in HTML. And then for the body, we're just going to go ahead and select that output from that conversation with ChatGPT, which is right here. Cool. So we're going to add a signature as well to make it look nice and pretty. And now if we actually continue this and test this, if I open up my email, I should get a nice welcome email that's completely personalized based on my questions. As you can see, guys, I got a nice email welcoming me. Thank you for joining the community. Your business has evolved selling TVs, which is that question I actually answered. And our community is here to support you in your venture. Feel free to engage with our resources and community members to learn valuable insights on how to actually successfully scale your business. Now, within this email or SMS, I'd also include links to the actual form you want them to complete, which is something I completely forgot on my behalf. And you can also send them different resources like your YouTube channel if you have one, your newsletter, different things like that. And obviously, very, very important, send them a link to the community so they can just jump right in. In terms of this email, I'm not upset by it. Obviously, I would touch up different things such as removing this HTML from the output and these little 3 quotation marks. But guys, you can do that in your own time. It's just about refining the prompt and getting it perfect. The last thing we want to do for this after we actually send them that personalized welcome email is you want to initiate them in an email or SMS sequence. Now for this, you need to use a platform that's actually capable of doing that. You can do it on Zapier. However, if you already have a newsletter platform like Klaviyo, for example, which we have, you can just add them to a specific list and that will automate a sequence. I'll show you an example of what this looks like for us. So within Klaviyo, you can see we have different flows. And I'll go to this flow right here, just an example. This is the flow that you get when you sign up to the VSL. And as you can see, we have a bunch of different emails spread over, I think, 14 days that just encourage them to actually complete that form. You can set up the exact same thing. Obviously, you're going to have to change it up for your copy. The whole aim of this is actually to encourage all those leads or new group members that are coming in to actually complete that form so they can get a free action plan or even a breakdown of your offer, for example. Now, guys, I will say that this is not applicable to every single Skool group. More specifically, the way I envision this at least is you having a free Skool group for your community, kind of like funnel that eventually creates to a high ticket offer for a done for you service or coaching, for example. That's the main use case I see for this. But of course, if you just want to give more value to your leads upfront, you can obviously still use this. So the last thing we need to do is actually add them to the membership site. For this example, I will be using Klaviyo, but doesn't matter, guys. If you use MailChimp, Beehive, whatever it is you're using, you can just copy this exact same process. So I'm going to search for Klaviyo and move myself out the way. For event, I'm just going to open this up and search for find a profile. Now, the only reason I'm doing find a profile instead of create a profile straight away is because I don't want to have any duplicates in my email list. So first, I want to make sure they don't already exist there. So press continue. Obviously, connect your account, continue again. And then for action, you want to put the email in that they get when they first answer those membership questions. And you can have a bunch of different things. But the key thing here is that we want to put create profile if it doesn't exist. So we're going to press yes to that. And then you can add in all that information that we have. So the first name, which comes straight from membership questions, last name, and you can add a bunch of different things such as the organization, the region, city. But for now, we're just going to leave this blank and remove those extra steps. I'm going to press continue, guys. You can test this if you want, but I'm just going to leave it. Now that we've actually created that profile, the next thing we want to do is actually update that profile to that specific segment. So for this, I'm just going to skip this test. I'm going to add another section. It's going to be in Klaviyo again. And within Klaviyo for event, I'm going to scroll all the way down to create or update profile. Obviously, connect your account. And then for email, I'm going to enter that email that we got here previously. Here, when you see list, you just want to choose that specific list to actually automate that in your lead flow. So for example, if I go back to Klaviyo over here, you can see this gets initiated when someone's added to the VSL list. Very simple, guys. So you have to choose that specific list. So for example, if I was doing a VSL list, I would choose VSL here. So now every single time someone joins the group, first they tries to find that profile. And if it doesn't exist, they'll create one. And once it's created, it's going to go ahead and update it to that VSL list so it can automate and be initiated within our email sequence. We're just going to press continue here. I'm going to skip this test. That's the first automation's done, guys. Now I'm going to join again so you can actually see this in action. So let's go ahead and publish this. I'm going to press X. Now I'm just going to join again. I'm going to do this live for you guys so you actually see this is working. So I'm going to join the group. My name can be, in this example, I'm going to put my name as Ronald. The last name is going to be Donald. I'm going to use my personal email here and then choose a random password and then sign up. Then I'm just going to go ahead and complete those membership questions. So my email, for this example, I'm going to put fluxomate@gmail.com. Why are you joining this community? For this example, I am going to be a marketing agency. So I want to grow my marketing to 7 figures. And then what is my business? Marketing agency helping plumbers, for example. Cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and join the group or at least request. So now if we go back over to Zapier and we go to Zap Runs and reload this, let's see if it's coming in. Nothing's happened yet. Usually with triggers, it take about 2 minutes to come in. So I'm just going to wait for it to come in. All right, guys, so as you can see, the automation's gone ahead and run. So if you open up my email, we can see we have this email right here from Leo at Fluxomate. Welcome us to the Skool community. Obviously, we still have this annoying HTML bit and the little brackets, but if you're doing this properly, you'd edit the prompt to get rid of that. And as you can see, this email is customized based on what we said. Obviously, the copy is horrible. And once again, I would recommend you to actually play around with the prompt to get the right output. But the main premise of it is still there in the sense that we're still sending them a customized email based on their questions when they first join. So now this user is going to go down the flow of a bunch of emails. I think my one's over the cell 14 different days, basically inviting them to complete that form. The whole premise of that form is just to collect more of their pain points because those 3 questions are not enough. And we're going to actually leverage that form to actually create an automated lead magnet. All right, guys, so we've gone ahead and created that first automation. So now it's time to move on to the second automation, which in my opinion is actually the interesting part and where you can see some real value. Flow for this is going to be super simple. Whenever a form is completed, we're going to use their form responses and actually create an AI-powered lead magnet. Now, in terms of what we're going to create, it varies depending on your specific applications. For this use case, we're just going to go ahead and create a doc magnet. But you can create an action plan, some sort of free resources. There's so much you actually can do. It just depends on your specific circumstances. But we're going to be creating a doc magnet because remember, our group is specifically to help businesses scale. So we're going to create some sort of doc magnet, just breaking down our offer and how we can actually help them. The second thing we're going to do is actually share that doc magnet we created in a previous step through an email. Now, you could also do this through SMS if you wanted to, but just for this example, we're going to go through email. Then we want to give them access to a free course within Skool. We want to remove them from any email and SMS sequence just to avoid them getting spammed because it's likely that they're going to unsubscribe to your email if they keep on getting emails about something they've already completed. And also, if they answer certain questions, that means they're qualified. We can also send a notification in Slack to get your closers to actually email them, call them, wherever you feel like it. So guys, let's go ahead and build this automation within Zapier. And it's all going to start from a form. All right, guys, so I've just gone ahead in Typeform and create a very simple form. Here, I'm just trying to collect some of their pain points. I'm asking for the company name, their business, or the main bottlenecks that preventing them from scaling, describe your current revenue, some different options that actually describe their industry, how many employees they have, what their primary marketing channel is, what the top 3 priorities, just a bunch of questions just to understand the pain points. And obviously the key thought is at the end, I'm actually collecting their email. Now, quite obviously, this form is just an example. When you actually do this, you don't have to set up your own form asking specific questions that are related to a community or your coaching program, but it's a good place to start. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this as an ideal prospect, I guess. And then I'm going to go back to Zapier and actually set up the trigger for this form. All right, guys, so I've gone ahead and completed that form. Now we're back in Zapier. It's time to actually create that trigger. So the trigger is the start of any automation. And for this example, it's going to be when someone actually completes the form. So I'm going to go over the trigger. I'm going to search for type form. Then for event, I'm simply going to choose a new entry. Press continue, obviously connect your account. And one thing I'll say, guys, while we're here is it doesn't matter if you're using Typeform, Google Form, the process will be very similar. I'm just using Typeform for this example because that's what I usually use for my forms. Form, we're going to choose that form we just created, which was scaling your business form. Press continue. And if we test this, we should see those responses that I just filled in now, just like that. Now, just to give you an example, I was using the same company that we used in the first automation. So it's a marketing agency for plumbers. We just outlined some of the questions, such as their main bottlenecks, their current revenue, how many employees they had, their primary marketing channel, what are the top 3 priorities for actually scaling your business, and very importantly, that email that we're going to be using to actually share this with them. So the first thing we want to do, if you go back to our automation plan, is to actually create that automated lead magnet based on what they're doing. Now, guys, there's so much you can do here, but it usually starts at the same step. And for this example, it's going to be using AI to actually generate that content. So I'm going to go over to ChatGPT. And for event, we're going to scroll all the way down to conversation. Now, I say this in every video, but if you were doing this properly, you'd have to go with conversation with assistant. And that involves firstly creating an assistant and then using it within your automations. Trust me, guys, this provides much better results on a consistent basis and just a way to really supercharge your automations with your personal knowledge. Just for the purpose of this example and to avoid making this video too long, I'm not going to go ahead and create an assistant and then include in a conversation, but I literally have a whole video going over exactly how to do that, and you can check it out in the top right hand corner right now if you're interested in doing that. But for this example, we're just going to go over conversation. You're going to connect your account. We're going to press continue, and this is actually we're going to enter our prompt. Now, for this example, I'm going to be creating some Facebook ad copy for the plumbers. I'm just going to use an example that my Skool community is all about helping you scale using Facebook ads. Quite obviously, guys, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. The main thing you're here for this example, you're going to have to tailor this to your specific service delivery. So the main thing I want to do is generate some sort of Facebook ad copy based on all the information that we have from the business. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've got ahead and set a very simple prompt. I'm basically just asking it to firstly generate some ad copy based on the information I'll provide you below. And then after generating ad copy, I want you to come up with a relevant marketing structure for Facebook ads. Now, guys, once again, this prompt is not horrible and this isn't a prompting masterclass. So you're going to have to refine this based on your specific needs. But for this example, it will do. Now, all I'm going to do is just enter all those questions that we have simply by firstly typing a question and then selecting that block. So for example, one of the questions we asked them is how many employees they have. So I put how many employees, and then I'll just select the answer, which in this case is 21. Just like that, guys. I'm just going to rinse and repeat that for all the different questions we have. All right, guys, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and filled in all that information. Once again, just a question, then response to the question. And let's go ahead and run this. For this example, I'm going to use 3.5 Turbo, which is the cheapest one. Let's go ahead and run this, see what kind of response we get. We might have to edit a prompt, but once again, this isn't a prompt in masterclass, so I won't be too bothered by the response. As long as we get something that's actually customized, I'll be happy. So let's go ahead and see. So it's giving us the ad copy, or you're looking for a plumber to take your business to the next level. So it seems like generic ad copy, and then it's giving us some Facebook ad structure. You know what? I might also ask it to give us a plan to actually scale. I don't know, just to give it some more. Give us a scaling plan to take this business to the next level. Obviously, guys, once again, if you are actually an agency that helps different agencies scale, then within this section, this is where you can actually show your expertise. So you give a specific prompts based on some stuff that you found works previously. And the easiest way to do that as an assistant. But for this example, just to make this video as short as we possibly can, because it's already going to be quite long, I'm just going to retest this step and we'll be happy with that prompt. We'll leave it as that. All right, guys. So if you see the kind of response we got, seems like it's generated ad copy. It's done a marketing structure for us, and it's also done a recruiting plan, which once again is based on those questions we asked them in the form. I'm all right with this. Let's move over to the second step, which is actually creating this lead magnet. Now, there's different ways you can do this. You can include it in an email, you can make it in a presentation even, or you can just do it in a Google Doc. For this example, I'm just going to create a Google Doc just to make my life a bit easier. So I'm just going to add another step. I'm going to choose Google Docs. And for event, I'm going to go all the way down to create document from text. Press continue. Obviously, connect your account. Then for document name, I'm going to put their company name, which we can find from their form responses. I'm going to put breakdown document. And then obviously there's a lot you can do with the formatting, but for this example, I'm just going to include the reply and leave it as that. Let's press continue and actually test this step. Now, because this is a Google Doc, we actually need to add another step after this to actually change the sharing preferences so they can actually view it and edit it. So once that's created, I just want to add another step quickly. So for this, I'm just going to go to Google Drive because that's where the doc is actually hosted. And if I go over here for event, I'm just going to put add file sharing preferences. Then for action, I'm just going to enter that file ID from the previous step, which if you go to custom and go over here, we should find the ID right there. Super simple, guys. And for sharing preferences, we're going to give anyone on the internet who has link can view. And if we test this, we should get a link. And once we get that link, we're going to search it just to make sure that the document is being created properly. So we have that link right there. I'm just going to copy this. As you can see, it's gone ahead and created a marketing in breakdown document. And here we have the Facebook ad copy, the marketing structure for the Facebook ads, and the scaling plan. Obviously, guys, this isn't the best lead magnet because it's going to depend very, very specifically on what you guys are doing. But it's an example of how we can actually take those form responses and using a very, very simple prompt, create some sort of value for your customers based on a specific pain points. If you want a much, much better example of what it actually looks like, you can check out the third link in the description. All you have to do is complete a short form, and then it'll give you access to this 40+ page document actually going over how you can set up a scale-proof agency. From that, you'll see an example of an actual automated lead magnet, because there we also optimize your onboarding plan based on a specific pain points. We optimize your client journey based on a specific pain points, and we also give you 5 examples of different automations you can use in your agency, once again based on the current bottlenecks that you're currently facing. This is an example of a really, really good automated lead magnet, and just gives you an example of the different things you can do in terms of the formatting and actually embedding that value within a much, much larger file. So now that we've gone ahead and created that document from the responses and actually been able to share it, we want to actually send them an email with a link so they can actually access this. For this, we'll just add another step. We're going to search for Gmail again. And then for event, we're going to scroll all the way down to actually send that email. And then we're going to do the exact same thing within the previous automation. So the two, we're going to get that email that we collected in one of their form responses, which is right here. We're going to put Leo Fluxomate again. And I'm going to put Leo-Fluxomate. Always give it a name, because then if not, when using automation to send emails, it's going to come up as Leo Fluxomate. Now, this time, because we're not directly putting the form response, I don't necessarily have to change it to HTML. Obviously, you can to give it a bit of a nicer look, but it's not necessary. So I'm just going to leave it as this. For subject, I'm going to put your custom breakdown, and I'm going to put the name, once again, straight from the form responses. And then for the body, I'm just going to put here is access to your breakdown. Put the name again. The ink, and I can put the links, just go like this, and we're going to include that shareable link we created in the previous step with the Google Drive. If we scroll down to shareable link, so they can just click it and access it, and then we can just give them a quick message to share your thoughts in the community. I don't know, community. Perfect. A signature, we'll do it just to make your emails look a bit better. Then we're going to go ahead and actually test this to make sure everything's working properly and it's the correct link. Just go ahead and send that email. So now if we open up my email, we have that email telling us there is access to our breakdown for Marketing Inc. And if we press that link, it will take us straight to that document we created earlier with our customized plan, Facebook ad copy, and Facebook ad structure. So far, I'm super happy with this. Now there's a couple more things we actually need to do. The first thing is actually giving them access to a free course. Now, this is not necessary at all, and I only recommend it if you want to create an extra incentive for people to actually complete that form. But just to show you how this is done, if we head back to Zapier, we're going to add another step here. And this time I'm going to search for Skool again. Once we're in there for event, we're going to go unlock course for a member. In my specific Skool account that I created, just an example, I don't have any courses. But if you did, all you'd have to do is enter the email address, which once again, we collect straight from the form. So we go all the way down to email. And then here you'll be able to select the specific course that you want to give them access to. Once again, not entirely necessary, but just a way to create that extra incentive for people to actually complete that form. Once you've actually given them access to that course, we just want to remove them from the email sequence. So for this, you're going to go to Klaviyo or whatever email software you're using. And the key basis of this, if firstly, you want to find that profile, and secondly, we want to remove that profile from that list so they stop getting those emails because if they already completed a form, you don't want to keep emailing them trying to ask them to complete a form. It's super annoying and it's going to likely cause them to unsubscribe. So for this, we're going to go all the way down to find the profile first. And want to search for it by email, just by simply entering that email as we've done for most of these other steps. I want to leave it blank. You can also add it to actually create an account like we did in the previous automation. However, this shouldn't be necessary because most people that are filling this form will come straight from that first email. So they already have their account created. And press continue. I want to test this step. You can see it's actually found the profile. So now we're going to add another step to just update that profile within Klaviyo again. Then for event, we're going to scroll down to remove profile from list. Then all we're going to do is remove them from the VSO list that we added them in the previous automation. And then for profile ID, we're going to get that profile ID we found a second ago just by going all the way down here and then getting an ID and inputting it right there. Just like that, guys. Super easy. Now, we've gone ahead and given them access to the Skool group, as well as send them an email with the lead magnet and remove them from the email SMS sequence. The last thing I want to do here is send a message to my closers if the lead is qualified. And for this, the first thing we need to do is set up a filter step. And one of the questions I asked in the form of what their currently monthly revenue is, so you can actually use that to actually leverage to see if they're qualified or not for your specific offer. So for this, I'm just going to first set up the filter. So the field we want is the form response, where it's asking which of the following best describes your current revenue. If we go back to the form responses, we can see we have a couple different options. And for this example, we're going to say everyone that's less than 100,000 is unqualified. So for this, all we have to do is contains and less, because the only response that contains that word less is that first one, which is less than 100,000. Actually, we have to change this to does not contain. So now every single person that fills out that form and responds with less than 100,000 will not contain on this path. Anyone else that responds with 100 to 200,000, a million plus, all the other responses will continue to go on this form. So we're going to press continue here. And if you actually test this, you can see we should go through because it's 100,000 to 500,000, which in this case is qualified. We're going to add another step to actually send a Slack message to our closers. Now, once again, this is only for the qualified people. So I'm going to press Slack. Then for event, we're going to put send channel message, which is right here. Now, guys, this is where it gets fun. First, you're going to choose your channel. For this example, I'm just going to use my testing channel. Obviously, if you have a channel full of closers, you can do that. So I'm just going to put testing, which is right there. And then for the message tag, we're going to put new qualified lead. And I want to put the company name, which once again, we get straight from the form. If you want, you can also include some information about the company, such as some of the form responses, just to show you how to do that. You can put number of employees, for example. And then once again, just enter their answers from the form, which in this example is this one right here. And then obviously you want to give them we're going to give our closers some way to actually contact them. So for this example, I'm just going to put their email. Obviously, if you collected their number, make sure to also include it here so they can just give them a quick call. So all the way down here, just add in their email. Cool. Now we're going to format the actual bot to send this. So we are going to send this to the bot, and the name is going to be lead bot. And for the bot icon, we're going to put the robot. This is not necessary, guys, but always like to format this. And then we'll not include the link to the XAMPP just to make the formatting as clean as possible. So now if you go ahead and test this and open up Slack, we should be able to see that message actually come through. Which, as you can see, guys, if you go over to testing, we can see we have that new qualified lead from Marketing Inc. with the number of employees and their email. Theoretically, if you were using make.com for this, which you can't right now because you don't have a Skool integration, but you could do a lot more using a block kit builder to add different buttons. And then, for example, they can press a button to automatically take them to the lead site and actually call them. That'll be more on the side of Slack apps. And I've got another video coming soon going over how to actually create your own Slack app and the different things you can do with them, because there's a really, really powerful tool that Slack has. And I don't think it's utilized enough and talked about enough in this space. But guys, this is now this automation live and completed. As you can see, we've gone ahead and followed the plan exactly. We first triggered it when a form is completed. We then created that AI-powered lead magnet, which in this example was a breakdown document with Facebook ad copy, Facebook ad structure, and a plan on how they can actually scale their business using some of their key pain points. We then send it to them in an email, giving them access to a free course in Skool, remove them from that email sequence that we added them in the first automation, and then send a message to our closers channel if they were qualified. And guys, that's pretty much it. These are the two automations that you can actually use and leverage in your Skool group to create automated lead magnets whenever someone joins your group. Now, there's a ton of different use cases for this. Like I said, the way I imagined this when I was first recording this was for people that have a free Skool group and then they're using that as a funnel to a higher ticket offer. This is a great way to first see how many of your Skool group members are qualified, but also to give more free value to those free Skool members. But there's a ton of different use cases for this. You don't have to just create lead magnets to follow into a higher ticket offer. You can also just do this to provide more value and just to get insight on what your community is actually made of. Because this form, you can get a lot of data from it. You can ask a lot of specific questions because you're giving them something in return. So it creates an incentive for them to actually share that information with you. Obviously, there's a lot more you can add to these automations, such as updating your CRM, sending them more gifts just to create an extra incentive. But I think these two automations are not bad at all. And anyone can use this to start leveraging lead magnets within the Skool communities just to provide that extra value or to try to send them to a higher ticket program or anything like that. Guys, this has been a bit of a longer video. If you've noticed, this is actually my second time recording it, especially towards the second half, because yesterday the audio must have messed up, but I'm sure it was valuable. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. We drop videos like this every single week going over specific automation examples. And as you saw in this video, we don't hold anything back. We're very, very open. And just to be clear, because I have gotten a couple of questions about that, I am quite selfish. In the long run, I'm hoping that one of you guys will see this and want to work with us to actually set up scale-proof systems. But in the meantime, if that's not you just yet, then we'll release all this stuff for free with all the different resources, live automation examples, and everything else we do, just to give you guys as much value as possibly can. Guys, within the second link in the description, I've added a free blueprint for this specific video. This is something I we're doing for every single new video going forward. It's basically got all the mind maps we use, all the automation templates that we created in this video. So easy, so you can just sign up, download them, and implement it within your automation account straight away. It's 100% free, so you don't have to worry about me charging anything. And it's basically just a digital product for each video, just so you can actually follow along. And if you get confused, just copy the automation straight on your account or even access the mind map that I used in this video. If you watch until the end, you're probably interested in how you can actually set up scale-proof systems within your agency. So I've got this 20+ page document that you can actually use and still all the exact same processes and program that we actually use with our partners. This is the example of the lead magnet I mentioned earlier. And it's an example of a really good lead magnet, in my opinion, and it shows you the different possibilities of what a doc magnet actually looks like. Because within this, once you fill out that form, it takes about 5 minutes, you won't just get access to this document. You'll also get your onboarding process optimized based on your specific pain points from that form, your client journey optimized once again based on your specific pain points on that form, and 5 different automations with a step-by-step guide on how you can actually set them up, once again based on your specific bottlenecks in your agency, which we collect from that form that you fill in. It's 100% free, an example of a really, really good breakdown lead magnet to just show you how you can actually set up scale-proof systems using different things like automation and internal tools. To access this, all you have to do is check out the third link in the description. I'd love to hear your feedback. As you can see, there's a lot of different things you can do with lead magnets to provide some value to your community. So I'd love to hear how you're actually going to be leveraging this within your Skool community. So if you have any ideas, make sure to drop a comment with what your Skool community is, but also how you're planning on using this, because I'm super, super interested on different use cases that everyone will think of once they've actually seen how to set this up and how relatively easy it is to actually implement something like this within your community. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about anything, make sure to leave a comment. I say this a lot, but we're quite a small channel. So if you leave a comment, we're 100% going to see it and give you an in-depth response answering your question. So any questions about anything I talked about today, if I rushed over anything, or if anything was a bit confusing, make sure to leave a comment and I'll be here to actually support you guys. Apart from that, it's been a pleasure actually recording this video. Make sure to let me know how you're planning on using this within your Skool community, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.